bro.
So, oh, I think I'm locking this whole thing up. It's not liking me at the moment.
Wow, 10 seconds out. I'm watching this timer. See how long these lapses are.
All right, let's see. I think we're finally up and going. But now I need to listen to it because I've got music. And you guys that are listening, you can, I don't know, you can let me know if this actually works. Like, if you can hear the audio in the back, I don't know.
How am I not the first to our own live stream every time? This blows my mind. I'm waiting to click on it. And I click on it.
And guys,
there's
they're
people
already
in there.
They're already there.
You guys are nuts.
They know what's what.
What are y'all doing? Like, how does it automatically start feeding to you? How does
I scheduled it in advance so they can get in early.
Oh, so you can wait. I got you. Tectonic is... Hey, dude, there's like feedback or something on your end.
Well,
What are
that's
you doing? Oh, you got a phone up there. I'm like, dude, I can hear it in loop. I'm too busy emotionally supporting you. Get out of here. It's a bad day. We'll get through it, baby.
I gotta go back here and see.
I don't know what's happening right now. I'm not really sure what he's doing.
I still think it might be a little loud. I just don't know how to get that any quieter.
On my end, your end. Tectonic, what's up, man? You've been waiting, so let's talk. What are you doing? What are you up to today? What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about?
That's either hot or it's not. So,
That's
I
like
think,
me, man. I can't decide. I'm either hot or I'm not.
So I was wanting to do some music, but so here's the thing. You know, we've got the floating coffee Jarrod, and because of that, the audio runs with the system audio. So the music runs through the system audio as well. And because of that, I think I'm just going to have to... Wait. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to stop that. Yeah, we're just going to stop the music. I don't care about music at this point.
Who
we don't
cares
know what
about
we're doing.
music?
And who cares about even a pre-show and a countdown
We're gonna sit
timer?
here and breathe for 6 minutes and 5 seconds.
ASMR.
Let's talk.
What is my phone doing? Why are YouTube Premium? Be quiet.
Yeah, what does the title say? What are we doing today?
I don't know. It
I'm
just
told
says
it's
live.
shenanigans. Let me see.
Oh, I think that was the description. I never know what I type. My typing is like my talking. I just randomly do stuff, and I have no rhyme or reason to it. So, I don't know
Clint?
what's... I hear the poochies.
It's one of those days, man. We have people outside drilling holes, so...
Sweet. Drilling holes and stuff and things and stuff and things and stuff. Ba-dum-bum-bum. A head nod, a head shake, a head nod, and a head shake, and a whistle. I'll keep on talking if I want to keep on talking. What? I can't hear you. You seem like you're muted at the moment. You know what would be amazing if I did? It would be cool if I actually had like my boom arm coming from the other end. So that way our elbows like weren't like, you see this, it's coming off that end. Or maybe I'll just do it up here and I'll go, yeah, like this. We'll do the whole show like this. I like it. I really do like it. It doesn't get in the way of my coffee mug.
It sounds the same.
Well, probably, because this thing is amazing. Actually, I've done it as a off-camera boom before. So like right about ooh, just barely, and if I turn, ooh, you can just barely see it in the screen.
Okay, I think he's chilled out for a minute.
See, like that. I mean, how's that sound? It sounds a little odd to me.
Yeah, a little odd.
More of an echo.
Little echo to it.
I got a hair there. What are we doing? Why am I doing this?
I don't know. I don't know.
How did we go off the rails?
I don't know.
Can we blame everything on John today?
Well, we're going to.
Okay.
He's already in the chat, so let's just go
He
ahead
says,
and do
ooh,
that.
fun and shenanigans today, according to the description. I guess. I don't know what it is. You know what I think? I think that what we should do is we should completely ignore that thing that is over there, just above your head on your left, that says
my left.
The podcast starts in 3:51. I think we should just roll the intro and just go with it.
Whop.
That's what I think. What do you think?
Whop.
All right, we're going.
Welcome to the Vlogpastors Podcast, a podcast all about the stories and strategies of sharing God's love in the digital world. Now, here are two pastors that love to put a camera in their face and walk around in public. They are the Bill and Ted of digital ministry, Jarrod Brown and Joshua Verwers.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Good to see you. Glad you're back. We're back too. We're Bill and Ted. And today is going to be an excellent adventure.
A most excellent adventure.
Most excellent. I mean, I figured, why even wait? Why wait? We're just sitting here. Everybody else is here. And
let's just do this. Pull the
it's our
trigger.
party, and we'll go live if we want to. So we might as well. Let's say, hey, I know that Tectonic was here earlier. Don't know if
The
still
first
here.
one.
But the first one, yeah. I hadn't even pulled up my studio dashboard to even see what was going on. And Tectonic's there, so I said, hey. And that was before you and I even hopped on and tried to Skype.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wowzer.
Yeah. Jason Remster saying 10 minutes until live. When it was 10 minutes to live, that coffee spilled on my arm. Thank you very much.
10, or was it more like 6?
I don't know. It actually he might have been there 10 minutes before. Like before we went, and then we stopped, and we started, and we don't know what we're doing.
If that's the case, you're hardcore, Jason.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
John Hayes, fun and shenanigans according to the description.
Most definitely. Always.
A good old lol. Yep. And Tectonic was saying that, or John was saying Tectonic came in long ago. Yep. In the galaxy far, far away. He was already here. So, good old Miss Jessica B saying that I am too busy emotionally supporting you. I would agree. But I'm here for you because after watching your live stream on Friday, you need some emotional support because I don't know what your husband was thinking.
Much controversy. Dude, I bet you there were probably, I don't know, I think it's like 60 people who watched that live stream, watched it, dipped in on that thing. I bet you I heard from 60 people this week. It was amazeballs. So
I left all my comments in the live, and then I figured, we can talk about it some other time.
See, I think that's part of the thing of it. I chatted with my father-in-law afterwards, and he's like, I don't think people understand that that's the way y'all's relationship is.
Yeah.
And then that, like, once you hash it out, it's not continued conversation throughout the week of like, I'm not ribbing her and she's not ribbing me. Like, there's an idea. It was a bad one.
Yep.
It was pretty much.
You admit it was bad.
One. So I don't. And we don't have to get into it. I truly believe in it. I think there needs to be something like that out there for the right occasion and purpose. However, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to.
Right.
I think I'm not going to reject sound counsel. I don't want to take my reality from the comments section, and people who aren't necessarily living it. But at the same time, the folks who were chiming in that are people who love us and care about us. Every last one of them. So it's like, even my friend Jason, he's like, dude, you okay? Chill out. So it's like, all right, never mind. So sound counsel was given, and there's no emotional support as far as that ongoing.
No, you guys are good. And for those that have no idea what we're talking about, you need to head over to Jarrod and Jess's channel, A Bite of Brownie, and catch the State of the Union from last Friday. It was a good one. It was fun.
It's a fun one.
Okay, so we also had, John was saying, I don't know, something about wasn't bad on volume. It was too bad for me, but it worked. Maybe it was that, yeah. Clint saying, what's up, guys?
What's up,
good to
Clint?
see you. Glad you're here. And yes, he is here. Jarrod can unmute and yell at his family this week. There you go, Jarrod.
There we go. I have permission. John
You
said
should
it.
have. You should have. The dogs were running amok, and you should have just yelled at them.
I actually did, but we will unmute it next time.
John was saying lower the mic about 3 inches when it was right here, so it would just cover up my face. So that would be fun.
Shenanigans engaged.
So he says that's on par for you to change the setup right before the show. Yeah, speaking about changing the setup right before the show, I mean that's exactly what I did. As you see, at 9 o'clock, or no, it was 9:30. I left the house and I went and I bought a shower curtain to act as a bigger softbox to give me this nice, beautifully soft light and to kind of eliminate the glass glare and stuff. It's a little dark over here, but I can always adjust that. Yeah, it's gone. Like I have to look directly into it for you to see it, but it's so soft at this point that, man, it works.
We were just talking before the show. We love these things. We love the little $8 hacks that save you so much money and time. I mean, that is, what'd you say? It was push pinned into the ceiling.
Yeah.
And it's a better solution than a $2,000 light. That's awesome.
It works. Awesome. That's the one, and the one bad thing about like these, you can't even see it, but it's over here. Actually, you can see it back there. Those little LED panels, any LED panel, the hard part about it is all of those lights, and they put out so much brightness, it's hard to create any type of distance for a softbox on it. So at least with this over here, I've got like a foot from where the light is to the actual curtain, and then it comes down on me. So it creates this softer, no harsh lines on the cheeks, which I always get.
So we chatted about this a little last week, but I think it's worth revisiting. I tried this, what you have right here, in the early days when I had the pallet wall. We built the pallet studio, and I had like a heating lamp, but instead of a heating lamp, I had like a 90-watt bulb. It was something ridiculous in there. So lots of light coming out of this little reflective thing, and then a shower sheet in front of it. And it worked fine, but I didn't know how to shape the light. I didn't know how the distance is to put it from me and away from me. And I really wish, like we all agree upon, that I would have spent more time with the whole exposure triangle thing, learning how to adjust my camera, adjust the lighting. I think I would have saved so much money by just, figuring that out rather than going, I've got to have an aperture 300D. I mean, everybody else has it. I've got to have it. Apparently that's how their videos look like that. Nope.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's one of those things that, like for microphones, even this, like I don't recommend the Shure SM7B for everybody. I really don't, just because of the price point. I mean, $400, that's an investment. So you've got to know that you're going to be using it and utilizing it to its biggest ability. But honestly, and I can kind of, here, I'll do this one that you guys can kind of see. This is my Rode Video Micro. And a lot of times when I'm doing just recordings here, this is a cheap $20, scissor boom arm and the Rode Video Micro, and it's just got a generic audio cable, female to male, plugged straight into my camera. That's typically what I do a lot of these talking head, from here with just that. And all of my vlogs, it's just using that thing. So for me, it's like, I mean, why, unless you're going to be doing something like this on the regular, $50, $60, whatever that little pod or the video micro is, it's much better than one of these. Yeah, and it sounds good,
dude. It has replaced my Pro Plus. It's replaced it entirely. I don't have to worry about battery, and it's nearly as good, and it's half the size. It's amazing. Anyway, those little cheats, those little cheap little, they're not bad. They're not. They're not less quality.
Like this works. Like you see, I'm well lit here. Like the only thing I mentioned is that light, over on this side of my face might be just a little bit dark. And part of it's going to be because of the position it's on, but I could just do that. And it brings up the light a little bit. And it doesn't create any more. That's just putting it on 100% instead of 50. And it's really not that big of a deal. So the only other thing I might try later is to get just one of those foam boards. You know, so like cheap $1 foam board from Walmart. And you just set that on the opposite side and it acts as a bounce board. It's also nice. Here's another little tip. If you're wearing hats, so the light here is coming down, but because I've got such a big panel, like you can see it's bright up here, but I've got such a big now light panel basically. It's lighting me from the bottom as well as from the top. But over there, it's only lighting as a reflection up off the ceiling. So because of that, typically, if you want to light on hats, you need to bring it down a little bit more. So I could do that with like a bounce board and create a better light.
That one I learned off the cuff. I was doing an interview in a feedlot place, and so they're all good old boys, and they've got their hats pulled down real low. And of course, I ask them to pick their hat up, but as they're fidgeting, they're not going to take their hat off. That ain't happening.
Yep.
You ever been to Texas? You don't take your hat off whenever, you're a good old boy. It doesn't come off. So he's messing with his hat, and he pulls it down real low. One of them messing with his hat, pulls down real low. And then I kept on saying, prop it back. Well, he doesn't want to take it off. So I slid one of those big reflector diffuser type things on his table in front of him. And then as the light was coming down, bounced it off the table back up underneath him. So he wasn't lit like a scary movie, but there was enough fill in there that you could see underneath his hat. So it works.
Well, and here I just ran while I flipped the camera over. I got my little foam board.
There you go. Yeah.
So here would be, I mean, you can see just setting it next to me.
Yep.
Gone, present. Gone, present. And if you want to know how I'm putting that over here, there. It's just sitting there.
Or if you want to be extremely lazy. So I used to have this little panel. I don't know if you guys remember the early live stream days on my side of the camera. It was never in frame, but there would be a light, like just a regular LED light, and I would push it as like a hair light or hat light, kicker light kind of a thing in the back. And it just got tired of swapping out the battery. It was in an awkward position. And got tired of messing with it. So if you want to just be super lazy, grab one of these things. Just put a practical behind you.
Yep.
And it makes enough of a separation that you're like, oh.
Yeah.
You get in front of it every now and again. Lazy man's way. See it on the earpiece?
Lazy man's way. It works. Yeah, like you can't see it on this. Actually, I could do this. We just love showing you guys. There. Old track lighting system. And those are Lifix bulbs.
But that thing is amazing, though, because show them what you can do with it. Show them the cell phone. That's where it gets fun.
Well, let me try to
he comes in, he sits down this morning, and he's like, oh, yeah, I forgot to turn on my set. And he's like, live stream, engage, and away all the lights.
Yeah, I was just like,
look at that.
And then it was like, yep, I needed to.
Look at that.
Turn. Whoop, wait, wrong one. I hit the name on it.
He used to have a set for Genevieve. Like it was like, oh, that's the one.
That's the old blue one, but I did have a pink one for her, but I think I've deleted it since.
That's what it was.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just, oops, I don't want to click the sunrise. That turns it on in my bedroom.
That's cool, man.
So, I mean, but that, again, the light and the separation, and you can barely see it, but if you look right here where my hat meets that shelf, there's enough of a separation, and it's just that one light that is just kicking down and just putting a little bit on the edge. So, just... Yeah, weird.
I need you to come outfit my whole studio, so whenever I walk in, I can say, tea, Earl Grey, hot. And it starts making it, and all the lights come on. Oh, yeah,
you wait. One of these days, it's going to happen. I'm going to have everything in this studio voice operated. It's just going to be Go Gadget Studio Lights.
Yeah,
all right, where are we at? Let's get some of these other comments here. Will the intro play again, though, when the time runs out? No, because I switched the scenes. I've got the scene is set up on the timer, so the timer's part of the scene. When the timer runs out in the current active scene, then it automatically goes to my next scene. So once I've already changed scenes, the timer disengages. So there we go. That's how we do that. Mama in the house, trying to imagine what you think is a dangerous place to be. Who said something about dangerous? Was that you or
what? Me? I don't know. Dangerous. Trying to imagine what you think is a dangerous place to be.
I don't know.
I don't know, Deb. Hop back in there. Let us know what you're talking about.
I know me and danger would be any time that I have a power tool in my hands.
Oh.
Because it's bound to be an emergency room visit.
Dangerous place to be. Okay, if I walk into, here's where I start stressing out. I walk into a baby shower. Things get weird. I feel nervous. Like I've only been to one in my life. Actually, I went to one and I requested to be able to stay. I had a blast. I don't know what these girls are talking about. They don't want to play games and they don't want to do all this. It was a blast. It's a party. But other than that, whenever you're just dipping in, trying to, I'm dropping off the whatever, I always feel weird. I don't know. I'm on my own on that one. That's a dangerous place.
I don't know.
That's a dangerous place.
I mean, the only dangerous place that I can think of is in my head.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, hey. You were talking about what you think. Maybe dangerous is not the right word. So apparently Mom knows. In my head. So I was thinking, that's a dangerous place. Yeah, in my head. Way too many thoughts and stuff going on. Dustin Damesworth. What's up, guys? Dustin, good to see you here. By the way, guys, if you have anything that you want us to talk about, Jarrod and I have no clue. We just don't know what we're doing and talking about.
Read the show notes, Joshua. I mean, I sent them over to you beforehand. Say on the script.
Sorry. Jessica says, I'm just uncomfortable with it. He respects it, but also, since he's the leader of our home, I trust him with the ultimate decision.
You're very kind.
Love it. Love it. Nice
Henry.
And biblical. Henry saying, says, what's up, boys? Yes. Are you ready for revival?
Yes, Henry. Yes.
So here's an interesting thing, and I heard this not that long ago about revival and how most Christians use the word revival when they actually mean awakening. Mm-hmm. Because what we say we want is revival, but true revival is when God is actually reviving our hearts and bringing back that first love and that passion. Mm-hmm. Most people are saying revival, but what they actually mean is a spiritual awakening where we want the lost in multitudes to be coming in.
Yes.
And it was just something that as soon as I heard it, I was like, yeah, I'm guilty of that. So it's
to me, it's common ground for Christians to say, oh yeah, we can rally behind that. So whenever somebody says, are you ready for like Henry, are you ready for revival? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Let God do it in me and then in everybody around me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes, awakening as well. But what my heart yearns for is reformation, man. A total and complete reformation of a society. I cannot stinking wait.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get the sense that it's coming, man. The more awakenings, the more revival, the more, the more we start heading towards that.
I had somebody on over on TikTok. I posted my short on YouTube, and then I waited, 6 hours later, and then I dropped it over on TikTok because I just wanted to see how it would work. And I'm not going to post it to Instagram because the reels are only 30 seconds long, and until they open it up to 60 and give me more flexibility, they're only going to get the really short ones. But on TikTok, bananas on comments, and of course I knew it was going to go somewhat viral. And there was somebody that had just asked. They said, for those who don't know, I put a short on there. You can check it on the channel. It's Pastor Reacts to Satan Shoes. And that video over on TikTok, somebody had commented and asked, when things like this happen, do you think that God/Jesus is coming back soon? And I'm like, no doubt he's coming back soon because he said he was coming back soon. The only question is how soon, and we don't know, but we better be ready. It was just like, So for me, that was the thing. It was like, man, you hear things like this, and of course, Jesus predicted these things. He told us that it was going to happen, and that all of these things were going to be signs leading towards that end. And it's like, okay, so as it ramps up and as we see more of it, and some people could argue, well, we only see more of it because we're more aware and news travels faster. Maybe. At the same time, even in my small community, I see lots of things ramping up. So it definitely is on the increase. And then I think it was, I don't even remember who it was. I think it was over maybe on YouTube. They were talking about, or Facebook, I can't remember where. But they were talking about, the birth pains. And it's like, can you feel it? It's like, best get ready. So the revival aspect. Want it, looking for it. As John says, yep, same here. Revival in us first, then Holy Spirit flow.
Come on.
So, yeah. And Henry saying, not just an awakening, but there are things in people that need to be reborn, as Jarrod says, reformed. Yep. And we need the church to be reborn, not in society's image, but in his image. And that will preach all day and twice on Sundays. So, let's see a couple of the other comments, and then
I noticed
Genevieve,
that as well.
What, the flower?
Oh yeah, we were talking about whenever he has his wide shot on, Flower's like the balance. She needs something on the other side because she's always there taking a little napperoonie.
And you guys may not have noticed, but look what made its return. Genevieve took this out of my room.
Why?
Well, because it's a pineapple coffee mug. And it's got our little aloe vera plant, or it had 2 of them in it. And she took it out because the mug is too small and it was dying, and she had to make it live, and it wasn't getting enough light, not enough water.
About life, not about death. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I got you.
So she took it out. But I said, well, can we at least bring it in just for the live streams? Because just occasionally when I turn, I just like to see my little pineapple coffee mug with the aloe vera plant popping up. So that's what I like. John is saying, make the lights change colors randomly throughout the show. I'm not going to say that to the assistant because I don't know, it might work. And Genevieve cannot change the colors while I'm going live unless she comes in and takes my phone, because I have only installed the app on my phone. So let the shenanigans begin. No thanks.
Shenanigans.
Yes, and Mom was confirming, yep, she was talking about my head is the dangerous place. I can see her brain, like when I'm talking to her about things that I'm wanting to do with, whether it be here, digital ministry, or things down at the church, and all of a sudden it's like layer upon layer, I can see the wheels in her head trying to keep up with what I'm saying, and all of a sudden they like start to seize up. And the smoke starts to billow out the ears. And then I know that I've lost her. And I keep talking for another 20 minutes.
Oh.
So that's my typical. And she's saying that it grew because she saved him. I agree. She did.
There you go.
The pineapple mug did not have a name. John, the pineapple mug does not have a name.
Wait. John's onto something. It did temporarily have a name, and Logan named it.
The aloe vera plants in the mug had a name.
Oh, okay. And the names were? Logan.
Big Head, and I don't remember. I don't
Genevieve,
remember.
do you remember? Shout it from the living room.
I don't remember. Logan, he's over at Grandma's right now, so unless he hops on the live stream, he's not going to be able to tell us, and he probably won't. But anywho. All right, Jarrod, we got through those comments.
Let's do it.
So far, what's up? How you doing?
Man, good. I am growing. Okay, so I noticed in one of the groups that we're a part of, I'm not going to be able to track it down. I'm going to take a guess, since I think John was in that conversation, that it was the value. Is it value with video? It's a Facebook group.
Yeah, Value of Video.
Group,
Trey Van
that
Camp's.
one that we're in together. Okay, yeah, that one. Okay. So somebody posted like, what is one thing that you struggle with? Maybe it was you. Was it you? Did you make this post? Was one thing that you struggle with all the time, and it was time?
Oh, that was just a post on my Facebook page. Yeah.
Oh, so it was you.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling along, and I looked through your comments because I'm like, oh, mine was time. So I'm looking, and every pastor in there was like time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been like the conversation that I've kicked throughout the week is asking, how do you say this? More mature, seasoned, vetted pastors out there, as I come across them, how did they ever, or did they ever, or do they ever tackle that thing of time? Like, have they been able to perfectly balance life and ministry? And anyway, the answers have varied, but they have all had to engage in that battle. And we're in the same season of life, Jesse and I. Flesh, chill, dude. Dude, he won't stop. Once he gets started, He won't stop. We're in like this maturing and growing and stretching season, and it has an increased demand upon our time. And it's been fun because we're wiping out and we're learning and we're wiping. So we have, as you guys know, we have the whole church building fiasco, and we have Passover stuff that we're trying to do some extra fun things for the church, just body life type stuff. And then we have community celebrations like sunrise service that's going on that we're hoping to be a part of. And then we have a major evangelistic outreach opportunity in our city that we're kind of taking lead on. And there's just plus, family and side hustle and all that stuff. And it's been a thing. But what's cool about it is we keep doing similar items over and over and over and over again. And I've learned from you, Joshua, actually, if you develop some systems, not like structures or not forms that won't move, but if I can develop some systems, I can do all of those things as I go, and I can just put them in the box, and I'm learning how to do them faster, or I have a system in place that takes care of it, or I know to ask for help at the third step rather than the seventh step of the process.
Right.
And it's been fun. It's been a fun week, I suppose, since we last spoke. We were live last week, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, growing in all of that.
Nice.
What about you, man?
Well, I asked that question, over on the Facebook page because it's what I suspected. It was where kind of my pain point is. And I think I had mentioned, I know I've mentioned it here, there, or somewhere about making a course and wanting to really help others in the digital sphere, especially kind of focusing in on like small church ministers, because I am one, so I've got a heart for them, and I know that I saw everybody struggling last year trying to do something and not knowing where to start. And all I kept seeing was so many excuses that I started to get frustrated, and then I didn't want to help anybody because it was like excuse after excuse after excuse. And I'm just like, just start, just do something. Yeah. Well, then as time went on and I kind of mellowed out a little bit, and it was like, all right, remember where you were at, a few years back and how the struggle was real. All of a sudden I was like, okay, I need to verify and kind of confirm that those that are in small church, pastoral positions or small church ministry, time is their struggle. And that's what I just wanted to confirm it, because if I'm creating this course, for me to ask somebody to give me a couple $100s for a course that I'm going to give them some steps and some systems, I better be able to follow through on the promise and really solve one of their problems. And so for me, I start with the end in mind. And so it was like, what is the end result? I want them to learn there are ways to take what you're already doing with very minimal time added to what you're doing to create more content and create a bigger reach and impact for that message that God's called you to. If that's the end, and I needed to confirm that was the end, now I can work it back and sit there and look at what I've done. Because I get this, weekly. Like, weekly people are asking me, yo.
Run it. Thank you, Deb. Thank you. Will it work?
So we heard it, but we didn't see it.
There it is.
It didn't sync up, but we got it. Thanks so much for the coffee, Mom. You know what? And just because that didn't sync together, I think we have to redo it anyways.
Floating coffee head. Someone is at my door. I will be right back.
All right, you can be right back. So, yes, there is, for me, it was looking at, trying to create this. And if that's exactly what I was trying to do, and I wanted to make sure that I could kind of solve that pain point that they had, then I need to be able to rework this. And like on a weekly basis, I get people that are asking me, how do you do all that you do? Like, how is it that you're able to create all of this content? Because you've got, you're doing all of these shorts that you're posting on Instagram and on YouTube and on Facebook, and then you've got vlogs, and then you've got multiple live streams, and then you're running stuff over on Buy Me a Coffee, and we're not even talking about what you're doing on TikTok. And a lot of them, especially those that are in small church ministry like me, they're just asking that question. I mean, they're asking me the question of, Josh, how is it that you're able to do everything that you're doing? And for me, if they're looking at what I'm doing and they're recognizing that I've already got, family and ministry, and they understand the time constraints that takes, and then they see me make all of this extra content online and have this digital ministry going, that's where they're wondering, where is the time coming from? Because we know you've got to sleep. We know you've got to have time with your family. And you're muted.
Stupid mute button.
Yeah.
Okay, that was literally the first question that I asked you. Do you remember that? Because I could tell that having been doing video and working with some stuff and the learning curve that's involved in all of that, I could tell you were getting started and you were doing things at a level that would demand a significant time investment in it. Yep. And that was my first question. Like, how do you find the time? How do you do this? And I'm learning over the years because he at the time he didn't have an answer for me. You did. Your lips were moving, but it wasn't really an answer. I think now you have an answer.
And I think I had told you at the time, the typical answer that people, when they would ask me, my typical answer was, I don't know, I'm lazy. And it was like, and I am. And when I was in pro wrestling, my trainer said that I was the laziest person that he had ever met. And he meant that as a compliment. Because at first I'm like, well, thanks, I guess. And he's like, no, I seriously mean that as a compliment. Because I figure out a way of doing something the fastest and most efficient way possible, because I don't want to come back and do it a second time, and I don't want to spend any more time on it the first time than I have to. The problem that I have is some of that is just natural, that I just see things in a different way, and other things it's like on the fly, and maybe it's kind of that extroverted nature where it's just, let's try this, and I adjust really quick. But the problem that I've had over the last couple of years is I have been doing that. I've created a lot of content, and I have been fairly effective. And apart from those daily vlogging, Vlogmas, Vlogist, and Veda challenges, I don't lose sleep. So it's not that that's suffering, but I've, over the last couple of years, had to basically break down what it is that I'm doing and sit there and look at this and say, how do I actually do this? And so I've had to kind of analyze my content creation journey and then work it in reverse, basically dissect everything that I do. And now I've kind of got that system in, and that's where it's going to lead into this course, to be able to sit there and say, hey, here's the system that I do. It's just taken me a long time to really figure that out and put it in a way that people can start to understand it. I'll be releasing this stuff free as well, but the actual course is going to be kind of step by step. I'm going to kind of take that Think Media, Sean Cannell approach where, and most of the other, content creators out there and the YouTube experts, where if you want to know what I'm doing, stick around long enough and filter through all of my videos, and you'll be able to piece it together on your own. But if you want me to piece it together for you, that's where you're going to, shell over some cash.
So are some of your big hacks and cheats going to be in there? Like there's some things that you do natively, like your Photoshop templates and stuff like that. Those are cool. How you build those, and then some of your After Effects templates. That's huge in the realm of time savers, because before talking with you about all of that stuff, I built a thumbnail from scratch every time.
Yeah.
And it's like the amount, it went from a 2-hour process to a 15-minute process once you kind of were thinking about it and going through that checklist.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of that stuff. I'm going to be teaching, through this channel as I start to roll out more of the What Joshua, show and content on this. I'll be teaching some of that stuff as well. But I also plan on making like some mini courses. So there may be a mini course that's not going to be, a big content creation strategy thing. But those mini courses, like here's how I build thumbnails with maybe some templates included. That mini stuff I'll be doing as well. But if people want to piece it together, yes, there will be, here's some different thumbnail designs, and here's how you might want to look at framing it, and here's some things. And then if they want to buy the templates separately, they'll be able to do that. But as far as the big course goes, I don't know exactly what all bonuses are going to be in there, but I'm kind of working it from my standpoint of what would I be okay spending a couple $100s on? Like if I knew that I was going to get this, and this, is it worth the money? In my opinion. And if it is, then I'll do it. Because I don't care what other people, they'll place the value how they want it.
Sure.
This value is on all the work that I've done, all the time and energy that it's taking. And I want to make sure that it's kind of like a under promise, over deliver on it. Right. And so I want to make sure that those that are shelling out, especially because I'm really aiming at those small church ministry folks, time and money are two of the biggest demands that we have, and yet the fewest amount of resources for those things. And so it's like, if I'm expecting a church or a pastor to shell out their hard-earned cash, I better over deliver. I better give them everything that they're looking for and then some. So it'll be jam-packed. And Jarrod, you'll be one of the first ones to know exactly what's going on and with it. So I'll be bouncing stuff. And I'd venture to say other people that I'll be talking to, like, Diana Gladney or Trey Van Camp on it, they're probably going to tell me that I'm giving too much value away and I need to charge twice as much.
Probably.
I've already done that with, even with Genevieve, some of the ideas that I had, and she's like, no, you're not giving all of that away. That needs to be something separate. And it's like, okay. So
it's such a balance.
Yeah.
Bringing that side of things in, whenever you bring in finances, because what immediately came to my mind was, and maybe I have to, after last week's live stream on my channel with my wife, I need to not make blanket statements that everyone thinks a certain way. So I may be in the minority on this. I'm willing to accept that I might be an extreme case now. Okay. So what immediately came to my mind were, there are people out there like me. I think I can phrase it this way. There's people out there like me who, have you heard of the finance personality? He's a YouTuber, Andrew Jick or Jeek or whatever his name is. Everybody's kind of familiar with Graham Stephan. Have you ever seen Graham Stephan before?
Oh yeah, I've seen Graham Stephan, yeah.
Okay, and Andrew is linked into that type of crew, but his videos are more like our videos. They're better produced. They're interesting, they're catchy. He does magic tricks and that sort of thing, and he's just got a fun, goofy personality. Well, he sells a course, finance, which is in his realm, and he's an expert on it. He gives the value right there. He jam packs it, but he also sells a course on how he makes his videos and how his strategy towards YouTube.
Yeah,
and he's given very little information as to what's in the course. I mean, adequate, I would say, to just let everybody know that there is one. But I find myself hovering over that click to buy for 360 some odd dollars. I don't know what it is. It's some outrageous amount of money. I don't even know what's in the course, but he's proven himself over 100 videos, his personality, the way his channel grows, those types of things where you almost want to click it just because you want more access to the guy. So all that to say, I'm in the camp, yes and amen, packet jam full of value. It needs to, because you owe that to the audience. But at the same time, I think there's going to be people like me out there that go, hey, what's Josh doing? Yeah.
Well, and I plan on it being something where as it gets done, and as far as the rollout on this, I'm hoping that I can roll this out, at least maybe a beta launch of it by midsummer. So that's kind of the plan. But if I can get this up, people are going to know what's in it. Like, they're going to have an idea of this is what it's going to be. I'll probably even have some, preview videos on there, so you'll kind of get an idea of what it is and a little taste of the type of value, maybe even, a free lesson to kind of put out there as well. So there's going to be stuff. I want people to know and expect what they're getting. Because I'm not dealing with refunds. It's going to be, you give me the money. And ideally, you give me the money, you pay for the course. The only reason it doesn't work is because you didn't actually do anything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's where it's looking at what I'm actually doing and breaking it down. So, and things like, a lot of it is a lot of the concept behind, was it 2 weeks ago on the Digital Ministry Podcast, where I was kind of giving, how to create some of that short form content for small church ministries. And it's essentially going to be, and I think I've shared this before, I'm taking that biblical model of the Exodus story, where you really start where you're at, you use what you've got, you do what you can, and then once you've done that, then you start to use what you don't have to do what you can't do and go where you can't go. And so it's that type of a journey of showing them, Pastor, you're already making content. You've already got one of the biggest content creations every single week. You just don't know how to package it in a way that will really work in the digital platform. And that's something that I've learned a few things. So it's not just going to be the big strategy, but there's going to be breakdown of this platform, that platform, where I'm at, what I'm doing. And I'll wind up, those that have it, they'll have lifetime access to it. So as long as I'm running it, it'll be there, and I'll be doing updates, because who knows, there may be
things change, man.
Another platform in a couple years that John creates that's called Shenanigans. And I may just want to create some shenanigan videos for that one. So
yes.
Yep, that's it. John's saying, lesson 1, how to make floating coffee hand Jarrod. Oh, that thing was a pain in the butt.
Dude.
But it is worth it.
You're going to get your mileage out of that bad boy, though. I mean, at least for a couple of shows, or however long you want to use it.
That thing's not going away.
Lord willing, it will one day.
The only thing I was thinking is I might have to do one to even the playing field, and one for me. So that might be the only other one. But I mean, I don't do the floating coffee hand. I don't sing with an angelic voice. I don't know. I mean, maybe like a little me that, he pops out from the top of the screen, hanging upside down looking, and then just says something like, ooh, coffee. I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. And having a green screen would have made everything so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't tell you to go, film yourself in front of a wall singing that.
Yeah, because I won't do anything like put your head on a naked baby.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So John says, it's got me thinking, Dean, you're here. Good to see you. Saying, Dean. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss?
Absolutely nothing. Actually, tons of stuff as far as what is in the works coming out of Joshua. You're going to want to be a part of that for sure. Potential programs and whatnot. Lesson 1, how to make floating coffee. Oh, we read that one.
Yep. What got me is John. Looking at it more of it don't have to be video. It can be any social media interaction. Oh, yeah. See, that's the other thing with that whole thing is it's not just about the video aspect.
Are you talking about ministry in whole, like your digital ministry in whole as a
Yeah.
whole? Or are you talking about sermons on Sunday? Because you
Digital ministry
something.
as a whole. Digital ministry as a whole does not have to be video. I think everybody should be doing video because video is the fastest growing medium that's out there, and it's not going away anytime soon. If anything, it just keeps ramping up and expanding. So video is something you want to look at, but if that's not where you're at right now, okay, that's where I need to go. But I can't go there yet, so I need to work my way up to that point. And that's where you just, you start. You just start doing what you can somewhere, something, wherever you're at. So, and that's one of those things that I've also noticed is like with me and what I'm doing, I just tell people. It's like, I mean, they ask me questions. I'm going to tell them questions and just kind of, you want to know how I do something? Here's how I do it. I don't care. I'll give it all away for free, but if you want me to try to package it and customize it and give you all the systems, that takes me countless hours to try to figure that out and package it that way. That's where it just costs more money.
I don't know if you guys are like I am, but there's not a whole lot of YouTubers. I couldn't name one in my area that's doing the same thing or similar thing that I'm doing. So it's hard to compare notes and learn things from one another and say, what do your analytics look like? What's your strategy behind your videos? Just those types of conversations, or even in the edit, the pacing of a video, the lighting, the things that work, the things that don't. That would be fantastic to have, somebody right here all the time, a friend to walk that out with.
Yeah, we
don't. And so that's whenever courses like this come along and you're like, oh, there are people, because I'm sure you're going to put some sort of group class element to it where you can, or Facebook group type of deal. I mean, those are cool, but something specialized where you're all going after it together, learning from the same, teacher type of thing. And it's invaluable because it gives you that sounding board. It gives you that specific. That's what I appreciate about Gary Vee sometimes whenever he comes into a play. I haven't seen Gary Vee in a long time, but this is what I appreciate about him is he comes into a scenario and he researches the group that he's speaking to and he talks specifically to them. And I think that's what could potentially be valuable about these types of courses.
Yeah.
You're talking directly to small church pastors who are trying to create digital ministries on the side, or not ministries on the side, but digital content on the side.
Yep. Yeah.
Specific.
I think it is. And that's where I had to get very specific with it and say, this is what I'm reaching at. And if it doesn't blow up like a Sean Cannell course, I don't care. And that's where I think being in ministry, it does kind of help because we're more in it for the outcome than we are the income. And it's like, I can come in and I say, the outcome that I want is more of us doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what can I do to help do that? Make myself available, pull back the curtain, start sharing stuff. I mean, yeah, some of it requires time to do that. And time is money for me to, kind of redeem that time. I've got to be able to make the most of it when I've got it. And that's where it's like, set up the Buy Me a Coffee page where if people are wanting some of that membership, like just this morning, and here's another little plug. Yesterday, like last week, I shared that, the new YouTube short strategy, and I put that on the Digital Ministry podcast on Monday. So that's on there. Anybody can kind of look at that in that post. But then for the members yesterday, I started to give the update to that strategy now that I've been rolling that out in the last 24 hours. And then as soon as 24 hours on that short video that I did with the, the Satan shoes, 24 hours was 9 a.m. this morning. And I went in and I checked the analytics and I dropped it in there. And it's like, here's real time what I'm seeing. Here's how it's performing. This is what it's looking like. Here's the breakdown on everything. And just kind of peeling back the curtain. It's like, take it for what it is. I haven't thought through all of this and I don't have all the information yet, but what I've got, here you go. And I think that can sometimes be valuable. And yeah, there are going to be others with smaller channels that may be outperforming that or larger channels that are underperforming that. I don't care. That's not about the comparison. It's more about just saying, here's what I'm playing with. Here's what I'm testing. I don't know what it means. Here's what I think it means. Take it for what it is. Little things like that, I think, they become quite helpful. So,
well, and the monetary reinforcement. Let's just address the elephant in the room. The monetary reinforcement. Your time is worth something. That whole State of the Union show that is unapologetically buying Jesse to sit there at the table.
Yeah,
it works. She would not sit there at that table with me in front of the camera and talk for an hour if it weren't there. I mean, don't get me wrong. She loves the YouTube thing, but that's date night. That's, in her mind, that's sacred ground, which we have to rearrange a little bit. We still have it. But, for whoever has been involved and thrown some money her way, she's able to buy the coffee in the background. Yep. Dude, she's thrilled to death to be. Anyway, so there's something to that, man. It takes. I've seen you disappear for a month.
Yeah.
I maybe that's an exaggeration, but it was weeks on end. We can call it a month. You disappeared for a month, and you came back with short strategies. Basically, you came back with a bunch of stuff that helped your workflow immensely, and you were in there working on things. You didn't produce anything for a while. You're like, what is this? But it took all of your attention.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be a huge unlock whenever it's worth your time to keep coming up with those strategies and share them with people. Yeah, and they pay you for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, even those strategies, I mean, like I first shared it with my Buy Me a Coffee crew. They got access to it first. Fast forward, a week or so later, and I did it on the podcast for everybody to hear. Some of those posts that have been members only, they stay members only. Others, I'll wind up later kind of making them more public, like the short strategy from last week. And then some of the information that starts in the post will always stay members only, but I will start releasing that information as it becomes more polished. And that's the thing, like, had I been running BMAC during that month of really trying to create this strategy where I wasn't making hardly anything, had I really been focused on the Buy Me a Coffee page at that point, I would have been updating that, because I'm putting the unpolished stuff in there. It's like, I haven't thought this all the way through. Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work, and there's going to be some adjustments along the way, but here's the information that I'm reading. Here's all the data that I'm seeing, and here's how I'm analyzing that data and what I'm coming out with. And that's where I think that can help, especially those that are looking to what I'm doing. They're like, we love what you're doing. We love how you're doing it. We'd like to take something similar, that kind of approach that you're using, but do it in our kind of sphere and with our specific calling attached to it. And I love that, but I'm just one of those that I'm constantly analyzing things. I'm looking at what other people do, and I'm breaking it down and, trying to dissect it. Like, I even asked a question on Twitter, I think the other day, which, by the way, you guys can help me with this and just let me know in the comments, who on YouTube makes the best thumbnails? So Dean Lentini, floating coffee head.
Hope you guys get a kick out of it.
I love it every single time. It does not get old. And of course, then Dean also figured out when you wind up doing that over on Buy Me a Coffee, you can actually include a little message on there as well, which his message said, "Let's hear that angel sing." But yeah, I mean, let me know, guys, who you think are making the best thumbnails on YouTube. I want to know. And the reason I want to know is I want to dissect the thumbnails. I want to dissect YouTubers' thumbnails, and like, I'm going to go big on this, and it's going to be a video, because I think that that's going to really help other people. Like, my first thumbnail shift in design I did had nothing to do with YouTube. I was watching Netflix. And like, if you guys can kind of remember, I had for a while there, I started bringing in those videos where half of it was black and there was text, and then the other half was like my face with whatever was in the background. That was a Netflix thumbnail. I think it was for, I don't know, there was two of them. One was Longmire, because I remember seeing the guy kind of on a hilltop and he was sitting there. And the other was some, I don't know, some like Mexican novella or something. I have no idea what it was because I just don't, but it caught my eye. I looked at it and I wanted to know more about it just from looking. So that was what started to shape and shift the thumbnail design. But now I'm trying to make them less for what catches my eye and more for what catches other people's eyes. Even if I do get accused of making clickbait thumbnails.
Dude, you got her, though. You reeled her right in. And if she's on this live stream or watches it, that was amazing. That was an amazing interchange. I am stripped in my gears. That was amazing.
Right.
Did you see it coming?
No, not at all. Not at all. I didn't see it.
I thought that was going to a bad place. I honestly did. I thought you were getting ready to do the whole troll thing where you go, I don't talk to trolls. I don't feed the trolls. Out.
Uh-oh. I wonder if we're going to have a redo of this. Genevieve, if you're watching, there's somebody that's coming back in.
Do it.
Do not do a redo.
Do it. Do it. Hatch it out right now.
No.
That's what you need. You need a pooping dog, little floating thing that comes up. Speaking of, I need to acknowledge this. Dean, thank you so much. I don't have the trigger button, but thank you for buying me a coffee. And I would release a little Joshua pooping dog emoji with his face on there right now for you. There you go.
He gets an extra angel for buying you a coffee there. That's what we do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that is awesome. So glad to see that.
Come up with that for me, please. I'm not an After Effects guy. I'd love to see his face on a little pooping dog.
Okay, I double checked. No, she didn't.
Do it?
Nope, she did not. So, the YouTube Shorts, the Satan thing. Dean saying, "Oh man, that Satan's under our feet" line.
That was hilarious.
Had my wife laughing out loud.
That was hilarious. There was a couple times. It was a little 60-second short, which you guys know what shorts are. But there were a couple times in there where you got what the audience was thinking. Like you were feeding us the line, and then I was thinking something, and then you would feed the next line. That was a well done video. Did I do it? What happened?
That was Dustin Perkins. That was Mr. Perkins buying some coffee. Love to see that as well. So like I had thought about this. You and I've talked about this, about how I'm not sure I want to play into the reaction of trends and what's going on.
Right.
I don't want the channel to be that way. And the only way I would do it is if it kind of fits in the style that I'm already making. So, because of that, it was like, I might be able to do this with shorts, especially after checking out the YouTube short strategy. YouTube releases that short strategy out of their shorts report. I see it, make it relevant, make it relatable, make it rewarding. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do for here? And then all of a sudden I hear about Satan's shoes, and it's like, yeah, I could do that.
To tie the two together here, because I think you should have. I think you did a great job on it. It was well done and tasteful, and it was in your stream. You didn't bash him,
right?
Which I think was the exception of what we were talking about.
Yeah.
So but your thumbnail.
The thumbnail.
Which was different than all the others. Your shorts have already caught people's attention because it's different. But the thumbnail on that thing even tricked the lady that we were talking about just a minute ago, where she came in hot in the comments and eventually became a subscriber. We all thought that was you had purchased the shoes. It looks so real.
It fooled so many people. That was not my intention. My intention was not to fool people. It wasn't to deceive people. It wasn't to make them think that I bought them. My only thought was, what do YouTube thumbnails do when you're talking about a product?
You show it.
So thumbnail, I'll show the shoe. And
I was
like, yeah, I
you're
could
holding it, man. I looked at the shadows in it. It looks like you're holding it. Did you hold a shoe and then just swap it out?
Yeah. So
this is the stuff. This is the stuff
still
where hours
on my
of time go. But
I don't even know what this is. What is this? Is this like an old? Yeah, one of my old Steph Currys.
Oh my goodness!
I just held this, and then That was loud. And then just masked around it. And it was like, removed it. And then I thought, oh, people are going to, and for a second there, I was like, this is good. It looks great. And I think it was Jen that she had told me, somebody's going to think that that's real. And I'm like, oh, well, then I better change the shoe.
Everyone's going to think it's real.
And then I thought, well, I'll modify the shoe. And it was going to do some subtle modification. So on the side of those shoes where it's the one of 666 that they do, I just erased that. Like just completely removed it, didn't use the clone stamp tool. And then on the front where he has like Luke 10:18, about I saw Satan falling from heaven like lightning. Well, I just went ahead and I changed the 8 on 18 to 19 because Luke 10:19 talks about how we have the authority to trample serpents and nothing will by any means harm us. So I changed that. And then I looked and it had the pentagram on there. So I just flipped the star right side up instead of being upside down. And I'm like, I modified it, but it fooled people. And I mean, they thought it was. And looking back on it, because I actually had a shoe in my hand, it had the shadows.
It was perfect. I don't think you should be apologetic about it at all. That was perfect. That was perfect.
I think it was.
It was enough because if you weren't holding the shoe, first of all, what's the video about? I've never even heard of this shoe. But now you're holding a shoe, so it shows me that it's an actual product that somebody made, and you potentially have it.
Yeah.
You didn't say that you have it, but you potentially have it in your hands. So I'm watching it. That was well done.
Well, and then I thought while I was looking at it, there's a Facebook group I think called Master Thumbnails, and it was like, share your latest thumbnail. So I shared it, and the very first comment from somebody was like, do those shoes stink? Because of the face that I had in the background that Jen says looks nothing like me at all. And I was like, oh yeah, it was kind of a stinky face. And I made like 4 or 5 faces trying it to see, I want the focus on the shoe, I want the focus on me, I want the focus in between, where do I want it type of a deal. And then that was the one that I thought, yeah, I can work with this. So even that guy, he had no idea what the Satan shoes were, so it meant nothing to him. But he just thought it was a shoe review and that the shoes stunk. It was like, you're not wrong. So it's like, it got across kind of the story that I was wanting in the thumbnail. I just didn't think people were going to, think that I actually bought them. And I get where people would sit there and say, you're a pastor, why are you buying Satan shoes? I didn't. I'm not. So, but anyways.
That was well played, man.
I thought it was hilarious.
Really well played.
Miss Rice, how you doing? She is here. I think I saw her say, I made it. She also said that she loves the shorts and says, I wish there was a super chat on here. I love the content the channel brings.
Me too, man.
I wish there were a super chat on here. Once I get monetization enabled on this channel, which should be sometime in the next few months, and that happens, and I get super chat ability, then we're going to have even more fun on this because certain super chats will automatically trigger little things. But in the meantime, if you want to support the channel and what we're doing, you can head over to buymeacoffee.com/Joshua Verwers and buy me a coffee. So there you go. Let's see. There was some other one. Yeah. Dustin saying, bros, I want the Chick-fil-A shoes. Which I think,
don't know. I'm not hip on the shoe culture. What's the Chick-fil-A shoes?
So it was Lil Nas X that, because of all the backlash, he's like, here, how about we just give them one that they want? And so he did like a Chick-fil-A shoes render. And it was like, okay. But although quite frankly, the Jesus shoes that company Mischief came out with 2 years ago, those look pretty good. So, either way, it's like, I'm not spending $1,000 on a pair of shoes.
A pair of shoes, man. I've got some.
Not gonna happen. I'll spend a few $100s on a pair of boots, but
dude, I've got some kids in youth. They're all about the shoes, but once they get them, first of all, that's their pair of shoes for the rest of, no parent's going to spend another $1,000 on these things. But once they get them, they don't want to crease them, and they can't walk in them. So they walk around like they're walking on stilts, and they don't tie them because they don't want to crease them because do they want resale value out of these things? I don't get it. I don't get the culture. I just need to get running.
I don't get it either.
But
I do not get it. Yeah, it is a thing. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's a sneaker culture, and that's fine. There are people, you see these little Funko Pops that are up on my wall back here. I mean, people are like, I don't get it. Why would you do that? I don't know. Don't ask me why I do the things I do. I think they look cool and funny, so I just do it.
Don't ask me for reasons. What?
Yeah. And then other people are like, why would you spend all of this money on all of this equipment? I'm like, I don't know. Why would I spend the money on a pop-up softbox when I could just grab a shower curtain? I don't know. Don't ask me why I do what I do.
There you go.
So, hey, Dean had a question.
What's up, Dean? Ask it.
He said, so what about what's coming out for Jarrod? Because we were talking about what was coming out for me. What's coming out for Jarrod?
Jarrod is swamped. I am doing well to keep my head above water right now. So what is coming out for me as far as on the channel would be I'm going to keep doing the documentary style vlogs. I'm finding my groove with that. I had made too many. I was documenting everything. So I just filled up a hard drive of stuff that's never going to see the light of day. But I'm not going to stop because when I do need it, I found it useful. So I'm going to keep making that. I'm just going to try and pick the highlights. I made a video, it's been a couple weeks ago, where I had so much footage that I'm still making videos off of it now. And I like that ability, and I'm still continuing to film. So for me, on my channel, we're going to keep on making those documentary vlogs because I'm in a really cool season of life with the church. We're doing some fun stuff, and I think it's exciting, and I'd like to look back on that one day. And I think other people are beginning to relate. They can relate to the story, and they want to see how it comes out. So that's a cool thing. And then we started that whole State of the Union, which some of you guys have been over and been a part of. Going to keep on fanning the flame of that. And I want to add shorts.
Oh, yes.
I
was saying it hoping you were saying that.
I have an idea. I just can't pull it. I can pull it off. I need to prioritize it. But okay. I have an idea for shorts, and I'd like to get that up and running. But here's what I got right now. My vlog for this week, finished, done, ready to go. I just need to upload it, get it on the platform, get it off. But I think it was Monday. Sorry, this is that time thing that we're going back to. Monday, I came walking in, slammed into bed. It was 10:30. Said hi and bye to my wife, and that's just where we are. It's like I'll upload it tomorrow morning, and there's just never a break in the day for those of you pastors who are double dipping. So, Dean, what's going on? What's coming up? A lot of the same. Hopefully, going to incorporate some shorts. Hopefully keep a schedule. I'd like to just keep a schedule rolling. That's what best I can hope for right now in this season of life.
That is awesome. Yeah.
And the conclusion to that church story. I want to document that well. What in the world are you doing?
That is LaShonda saying, I love your content. Coffee's on me. Keep up the great work.
That was amazing. That's like a mic drop right there. What do you do for that one? That's what you do.
Somebody buys a coffee. Somebody joins one of the memberships over there. You know what happens? They get awesome. Floating coffee Jarrod.
That's awesome. Now,
because
see, I don't
floating
know
coffee Jarrod is amazing.
Sometimes I feel like you guys are teasing me. Sometimes I'm like, that's pretty cool.
No, it is both. But hey, you know me. If something wasn't good, am I going to put it on this channel?
No, you are not.
No. And I won't do stuff just to make fun of people for the sake of making fun of people. It's a little bit of a rib, but it's more about, I just love what you're doing. I love the fact that you came up with that floating coffee hand and now the floating coffee Jarrod angel baby. It's just amazing. So, hey, Logan says, keep a schedule. I can't keep a hold of that. By the way, Logan, you just now joined at the right time. You need to tell us what these names were.
Oh, yeah.
What were the names? We were asking and you weren't here, so we didn't know. Yes. No, I by the way, Miss Rice, LaShonda, I love that. And the fact that you left that great comment, was amazing. It only pops up for a second, but I love your content. Coffee's on me. Keep up the great work. I can't tell you how much that I appreciate that. I know that, Jarrod, you do the same thing when you're doing the State of the Union and you've got coffee showing up. It's
you
just
have no idea. It's such a shot in the arm, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
Well, not you. I'm sorry. You guys who are watching.
Yeah, those of you that are watching, that's one of those things. It's like, it's cool. It is really awesome when we know that you're supporting what we're doing. And like there's so many different metrics to measure that. Like the views that we get on our videos, we love them. The likes, we love them. If you're weird like me, the dislikes, we love them, and we get worried when YouTube says they're going to take them away because it's like, but why? I like
How
them.
would we know? Yeah.
Yeah. We love that stuff. The subscribe, amazing. When you share one of our videos out there for other people and for your, sphere of influence, love it. And then when you actually put some money behind it, and you're like, hey, we know this takes time. We know this takes energy. And we want to be able to help support that financially. Man, it's such a humbling thing. It's so cool.
To me, that's the highest metric. I don't know why. I love all of them. They're all respected. But for me, if somebody who puts their hard-earned money behind, I value this content so much that you can have, you have $5 or $3, whatever coffee is over there, I don't know, of my hard-earned money. That's the world.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you.
Yep. That's so cool. And then for you guys, you and Jessica doing the State of the Union, like that is one of the coolest things. Me, I just create a bunch of shows and then I just throw them out there. You're like, I might try this show, but the only way we're going to be able to keep the show is if we buy my wife lots of coffee. And then for those of us that were like, we love to see you guys just hang out and chat. It's fun. It's enjoyable. I don't remember.
Reinforce. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I don't even remember what it was. Oh, we were trying to watch the culmination of a Hell's Kitchen episode Friday night. And Jen had just got done with her workout. She came in, I pulled it up, I hit play, and then I got the notification that you guys went live. I exited out and I threw, so you guys beat out Gordon Ramsay.
I have no idea why. That's why I love Buy Me a Coffee. That's why that metric is so huge, because I'm sitting there with my wife, and as live streams go, there's like 2 people in the stream or 3 people in the stream, and you're like, is it my mom camped out on there, like hanging out, doing a good job, son? Somebody from Timbuktu who has no interest in that, just happened to be stopping by. So you have no idea, and then you're having a conversation with your wife or with your friend, and you're talking about nonsense. And people enjoy it. And the way, for me, at least, that has been the most valuable is not just their view, their silent view, or maybe a comment from time to time. It's their stake in the game of, we like it so much, we're jumping off of our Friday night shows, and we've tossed you some money, and it's just huge, man. It's such a cool time, such a cool trip.
It is fun. Latrice saying, or LaShonda, saying, I can follow Jarrod. Let me do that right now. You guys are great. On. All of his links down in the description below. You can catch them, all of them, right down there. Genevieve saying, I love coffee. I know you do. And when people buy me coffee, that means you get more coffee too. Logan, Sean and Gus, but one of them died, and I don't know which one is still alive. But it wasn't just Sean and Gus. And I'm trying to figure out what it was. And I can't remember for sure which one.
Gus is hard to kill.
But it was.
I'm betting it was Sean.
Sean probably was.
Sean seems like a character that you would kill off early on. Gus is hard to kill, man.
Yeah. See,
He's going to be right in the range.
I guess we're gonna have to go back and figure out what episode it was when we had mentioned that and who it was. I can't remember, and I was trying to look through, but apparently I don't get it. I don't know. Also, Dean was saying, how many coffees to get an Angel Jarrod merch? I'm thinking a mug.
Please, do not give him ideas.
No, give me more ideas.
We've got to stomp this out early on.
We might have to do like a limited edition. I'm going to start. I know some people that are now getting into printing and graphics, so I'm going to be asking. I'm going to see that might have to be a thing. Could you imagine that instead of it saying
a piece
meh?
of this pie then, because if people start buying coffee mugs with my face on it that are embarrassing.
I mean, yes, I would have to. Yeah, I would have to do that. Yes, Logan, we are talking about the other name. That's what we were looking. So, Jen says,
what?
Gus runs away, so you can't kill Gus. So it had to have been Sean that died. So I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. But I do like the idea. Ooh, a hoodie. A hoodie? A Jarrod hoodie? A floating coffee baby Jarrod hoodie?
Like baby on the bottom, but my head on the top of the hood. So whenever you flipped it up in the back, it's my head. But the baby with wings on the body? What do you think?
Or what if it's just the baby that gets printed up here with the front on the front and the back on the back, and then it's your own head that substitutes the floating Jarrod? We go off the rails so often. Man. As we're getting ready to wrap up here, any other thoughts, any other parting shots? You want to give us a time frame on when we're going to see that vlog that you have that you haven't published?
Oh, sure. I actually, if I get a couple minutes, I will try and start the upload when we get off of this thing, and it'll be up tomorrow morning or Friday. I can't decide. Hey, what do you think works better as a release date? Just release it when it's done?
Release it when it's done.
Man, so like release it today? I've noticed for me that whenever
once you get your at bare minimum 1080p, once the video is processed and you have your 1080p,
just release it.
I prefer to wait until 4K, but sometimes that takes way too long, and it's like if I'm running on that deadline where I've already got stuff scheduled out for the next day and I need to get this up today, once it hits 1080p, I just full send. Yeah.
Okay.
And I prefer to, especially with vlog style content that we're doing, and if we don't have like a show with a set schedule, just push it. As soon as you got it, send it out.
Okay.
Make it, send it, move on to the next.
Make it, send it, move it.
Yep.
I can do that. I never know. I never know whether to keep, like, I used to release on Mondays, and then it was Tuesdays, and then Fridays, and whatever. So State of the Union is Fridays.
Yep.
That's for sure. That's the only one that's set. That vlog kind of meanders.
Yeah, and we've done enough of these daily challenges, you know, like the April, August, December ones, that we mess up any chance of having a regular upload schedule.
And to tell you the truth, this particular vlog that's coming out, Deanna's going to issue it. I don't think she watches my stuff right now, but she's going to get me. If she sees it, she's going to get me, because it has nothing to do
with anything.
Well, no. Well, it has something to do with the channel from my perspective. But she's like niche, man. If it doesn't, on my channel, if it doesn't have to do with asking the Lord God Almighty for direction and what the next step is, and then documenting that next step, she won't see it. And I'm kind of with her.
Yeah.
But there's other things that are going on in the tertiary that I happen to have documented and put into video form, had fun making, and I'm sending it out. Diana,
so,
what?
Here's the one thing that I will tend to disagree with Diana a few different times on this, and her and I have kind of talked about this. The day in the lifestyle vlogs or storytelling type vlogs that we try to make, they march to the beat of a different drummer. They are not searchable. The best you can hope for is that you just happen to have a story that goes viral, like Casey Neistat did a bunch of times. But the majority of Casey's didn't go viral, didn't hit that. I mean, I've seen some of his videos that didn't even hit 500,000 views. Like they weren't doing that well. People weren't watching it. Most of Casey's, as his channel grew, the views grew with them. And so you'd get the occasional anomaly that the channel, subscribers are here, and then that one would just take off. Obviously, we all want that to happen. But the only way for us to really try to get some control on that is focusing on trending topics or a searchable topic. Mm-hmm. Our vlog style, you can't. And I also think because of the Casey Neistat style, a lot of times, even when he was just documenting the day when, like the beam, you think back on those old vlogs, even those, There was the overall documentation that he was doing, but each of the individual vlogs, they would just kind of run off the rails here and there, like never tied back in with it. Some of them he would start off with, this is what I'm going to talk about. And that would last like 30 seconds at the beginning and then 30 seconds at the end, and everything in between had nothing to do with anything.
Yep.
So those type of vlogs, they march to the beat of a different drummer. You can take more liberty with kind of how you do that, but you also just got to go in realizing this is just going to be more of the relational type content that people that just, they love me and what I'm doing, they're going to be there to watch it. So it's not going to be the educational content at all.
Right.
So, and I think understanding that, we're fine with it. And I think even on that level, like Diane and I have talked about this, and she's even understood where we're coming from. And she's just like, yeah, just realize that it's not going to grow. Like if you want to grow, you really got to niche down. I also kind of tend to sit there and think that we're very complex individuals. And when we have a channel that is around ourself, even though we might name it A Bite of Brownie, when we
he got one into the episode.
Even when we have those, it's a personality-based channel. When we do that, I think there's an understanding that we are not one-dimensional, and there are a lot of things that we might be interested in. You know, so people here on this channel, they're going to be seeing over the next month a few vlogs that they've not seen where I'm discussing more of professional wrestling, because we're getting in on that season and they're going to get some insights on it. And so it may not be what the Lord Almighty is directing me for, and it may not be that encouraging people in other ways. It's going to be kind of a throwback to, you know, the old man. But it is what it is. So I think you just kind of got to go with that and understand that. I'm for it. Just put it out there. But at the same time, you want to have some of that core and pillar content on your channel that you know really does kind of niche down. So, my thoughts. Anywho,
that's appreciated, because it's fun whenever you go through analytics and what you're talking about, just to reaffirm that whole course thing is actually what's playing out on my channel. We all do. We have diverse personalities, and we want to see different things. And I have about 4 or 5 different videos on different topics that have done well, whatever that means. But that's not the core of what I'm making or what I'm doing. It doesn't document the journey of the Browns. It's the one-off coffee place. It's the one-off road construction. It's the one-off, you know. It's not the goats and the family and the faith type thing. So you're right.
I know. And I'm humble too.
Hey man, when you're right, you're right.
So anywho, hey, that's going to do it for us today. Dean Lentini is starting the Daniel Bryan yes, yes, yes chant. Yeah, for those of you that do enjoy some professional wrestling, you're going to, my boots will wind up making an appearance or two. So anyways, I got to get a vlog out. Like, I haven't actually uploaded a vlog. I mean, what is that? We're vlog pastors. This is the Vlog Pastors podcast, and the vlog pastors haven't been making vlogs.
We live stream all the time right now.
Shame on us. I just do shorts, and I get snarky in my comments. All right. That's it, guys. Love ya. And until next week, stay blessed. Enjoy God's best. Have a great one.